There is a crisis in the San Francisco community right now. Out of the 480 kids who enter into foster care every year in San Francisco, more than 50% are displaced from their communities and sent 100 miles away to other communities. Not only are these children removed from the only family they know, they are removed from their schools, their communities, their friendships, their extended family. And so reunifying with their biological family becomes even more complicated with that distance. So there is a dire need for folks in San Francisco to step into these stories and say, it's our privilege to love and welcome our most vulnerable neighbors.
I have a personal connection, a personal story of being a former foster youth at the adolescent age. So I actually know how it feels to be marginalized. I know how it feels to be unwanted. I know how it feels to be blamed for being in foster care. Although I had a hard time in foster care, I was one of the fortunate kids to actually eventually find a family who cared about me and other people that surrounded me. And it was actually because of this family and their church community, I found true hope, true love, and I found Jesus through that. And that's exactly what I wanted to do as a foster parent.
Back when we lived in Florida, we were youth pastors at our church and met a girl there who was living in and out of a shelter. We really felt God just tugging at our hearts and just asking us to bring her in.
We knew it would be something that we could do in certain seasons, but not in others. So after living in San Francisco for a couple of years, we decided to get back into the process to get licensed in order to take in babies, infants, toddlers into our homes.
We really felt strongly that this was a way to love San Francisco.
Foster the Bay is a coalition of churches across the Bay Area that are committed to providing a loving home for every child entering foster care. And we do this by connecting with churches like you and sharing the profound need within our communities for not only foster families to step in to the stories of kids in foster care, but also for support friends to wrap around those foster families. Because when you welcome a child from a hard place that's been removed from their family of origin due to abuse or neglect, when you remove a child from their family, there is trauma. There are profound challenges with that. These families need support. In fact, 60% of these families will quit after the first year because it's so hard. But we've seen that number radically be turned upside down when this journey is taken in the context of community.
What foster families need more than anything is a community, a village to come around them, especially in this time of need. Their service is so often unseen, so how wonderful to have a church community built in where this can just be a part of what the church does day in and day out, and it's just who we are.
I was not somewhere where I could become a foster parent, and I think that's something that I want to do eventually, but not something that I wanted to keep me from getting involved now. That's why I decided to go the support friend route, because I was able to do something tangibly now. You know, when I talk with families about things that you just don't know about going into, things like visitation from bio families, going to court dates, just the emotional trauma that these children come in with. This is a lot to carry for families. And so as support friends, we are really just trying to find ways to help lift some of that off their shoulders, to come alongside them.
Our church community and our support friends have been really supported, specifically during this pandemic. We've received so many meals, which is so much of a blessing. And on top of that, we have some support friends who actually went beyond and got certified and even licensed to take care of our kids overnight so that we can have a break and go away and recharge.
As foster parents, and especially as couples like us who don't have biological children, sometimes we don't feel seen by other parents or by other families. Feeling seen by our church community, I can't even begin to describe how meaningful that is and how much they have cared for us.
At Becky, we have seen foster families raised up from within your community, support friends wrapping around those families. We've seen incredible leadership through your advocate teams. You have financially supported the movement. You have been a part of the social worker appreciation events. You have literally been involved at every level. And I'm so grateful for you. But I've got to tell you, there is more work to do. And there's enough of this to go around. So let's expand the impact of Epic in the city of San Francisco in Jesus' name, in the power of his Spirit, on behalf of the most vulnerable and for the glory of God and for the advancement of his kingdom.